Okay, so I did manage to finally get this bound and got a chance to rip a few batteries to test it out. One thing you're going to find is that when you go to bind this, make sure you are pressing the bind button for the transmitter, which is underneath the VTX board, not the boot on the side over near right through here. I think it is. I don't spend most of my day trying to figure that out. Luckily, I got in touch with Jesse. Jesse helped me figure out which one I was pressing or needed to press and got it bound. It flew pretty well. I was not really expecting it to be too much different than the other whoops I have, the custom build versions. One thing I did find is, yes, it does have turtle mode. It's not going to work quite as well as your brushed versions. It will take some getting used to. I found that if I tried going one direction, I spun. So I just try to rock back and forth, and it will flip. It just, like I said, does take a little bit of finesse. Now, one thing I also, Jesse mentions this in the videos, canopies, first edition, are rather fragile. As you can see, this one took a heck of a beating in that first round of flying. Now, one thing that I'm doing is I'm coating the insides with E600. This very flexible adhesive, does not affect electronics. So what I'm doing is I'm coating the inside of the one that's on there now with this to see how well that does. Now, I have coated my Beta 65 canopies with it, and the first test run I had a crack that I glued together. That was the only area that I covered, and by the end of that canopy I had destroyed everything except where I had put the glue. So anyhow, it was really impressive that you have the ability to go up, I do believe, to 800 milliwatts for the camera, which is cool. And in some cases, I kind of think that might be overkill, mainly because as light as this thing is, you don't want to get too far away, because a bit of a breeze and it's going to wander off. But if you are flying in areas where there's a lot of branches, metalwork, what have you, that's probably where the 800 is really going to shine. So, day one with my tiny whoop, I'm pretty impressed. Oh, one other thing I also did is I took a little bit of that E6000 and I just put a dab on each of the motors, because I did find that I was having to consistently push the motors back into the frame, so the frame doesn't hold on to them as well as you would hope that they would. So I think a little dab of that E6000 will hold them in place, and then when I do replace the motor, it won't take more than just take your thumbnail, pull the glue off, and you're switching it out. So it probably wouldn't hurt to keep a little bottle with that in your kit. So anyhow, I'm about to turn in, so I thought I would just do a quick first day impression. So far so good, but I'll really put it through its ropes probably tomorrow on lunch break, what have you. Fly over in that car wash that I usually fly the 3 inches and see how well it handles the concrete structures. And I will post more of these as I go, because one thing I do want to do is give a running review instead of, hey, this is a new great thing, review it, and then you never hear a thing again. So if I find any other problems, I will definitely be bringing those up as I go. So till then, talk to you later.